always love getting to chat football with Baldy, and he joins us now on the D&M Leasing Hotline. Baldy, what's going on, man? Happy week leading into Super Bowl week, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's the league is buzzing right now. We got coaches being hired and Senior Bowls being played, and news is breaking, and we've got a game to analyze. So it's a good time of the year because it's the finish line, and here we come, right down the stretch.
It's amazing. In our own backyard, we got the East-West Shrine Bowl practices. We've been watching all the tremendous coverage on NFL Network for the Senior Bowl. It really, really is just a football fan's paradise. What was your initial reaction to the Seahawks hiring Mike Macdonald as head coach earlier today?
I think they got a master young tactician that can coach defense, that has coached at a high level, both linebackers, coordinators, college, pro. I think they got a fantastic young coach. And so what he did with Baltimore and what he did at the University of Michigan, it's top-notch. And, you lead the league in defense and sacks and takeaways. Those guys are in demand, being able to coordinate like that. So I thought Seattle made a really smart hire. It was probably worth the wait. And now we'll just wait and see how things develop. But they have drafted well. They've got a good front office. I think it's a good spot for Mike.
Brian Baldinger with us here in the GBag Nation. Baldy, sort of a random question, but we were talking about the Cowboys and what they could do defensively in the offseason, and we mentioned the name Bobby Wagner as a potential veteran linebacker guy. What do you know about the way his game has gone production-wise over the course of the last season or two? He's up there in age a little bit, but is he still close to the same player that he was?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't see the snap reaction time that I see from guys like Fred Warner and Roquan Smith and some of the guys that are a little younger. I mean, he's played a lot of snaps in his league. He's got well over 1,000 tackles. He's probably a Hall of Fame caliber player. They weren't very good around him in Seattle, so that sometimes makes a difference. He's very smart. He studies the game well. I just don't know that you're going to have the speed and the reaction time you need at that position. I think this is his 12th year coming up. He was drafted in 2011, I believe. So I don't know, or maybe 2012. So it's a lot of football inside that body right there. You got to take a long, hard look at just the way that he's moving right now.
Yeah, and another linebacker that's going to be on the market potentially for out of Baltimore with the Ravens is Patrick Queen. Do you think he will be worth whatever he ends up getting in free agency?
Well, he was a much better player the day Roquan Smith showed up than he was before that. He's like linebacker number 2 in Baltimore, and he played very well in that role. But if you're going to pay him to come in and be the quarterback of your defense and the leader of your defense, he's a little quiet. He plays hard. He's very fast. He does a lot of good things. Sometimes you want your Mike linebacker to be loud. You want to be able to hear him in the rafters, and it's not really how he plays.
Baldy, yesterday, Jerry Jones, and I hope I'm not putting you in a bad spot here, but I believe you're a man of detail. The comments that Jerry Jones said about all in, if you had to translate Jerry Jones and all in, what would that be to Brian Baldinger this year?
Well, I didn't hear the press conference, so he was all in as far as he's all in, or?
Yeah, the quote is, "We will be going all in. I would say that you will see us this coming year not build it for the future."
Okay. All right. Well, I would imagine, I don't know what the books look like right now. They're usually right up against the cap.
Sure.
But that would mean, free agency, we're going for gold, whatever that takes. The draft, if we have to move up to go get the best player at our spot that we could possibly get to improve our team the most right now, the way Micah did right now, the way some other players that they have drafted impacted the team right away, I would say that's what that means, that no stone is going to be unturned. Free agency, draft, trades, everything is on is in the middle of the table to try to improve this team as much as we possibly can before we kick off 2024.
Insider calls are brought to you by Old Spice Gentleman's Blend Body Wash, providing exfoliation plus 24/7 moisturization because men have skin too, as we chat with Brian Baldinger, NFL Audacy Insider. Now, reflecting back at the conference title games, and we talked a little bit about the Ravens. I think a big surprise for us was kind of getting away from their trend, which was running the football. Were you as surprised as we were that the Ravens just threw it around as much as they did and they went away from running?
Completely. I mean, Lamar Jackson in that game, he's the best runner on the field by far. He had two designed runs, two plays. One was 4th and 1 for a 21-yard keeper, quarterback power, and one was a misdirection play for 5 yards. That's it. They went away from it. Look, Kansas City stacked the box. They played 3 big linebackers in Tranquil and Bolton, along with Chenal, and they stuffed them a couple of times. And Kansas City said, if you're going to beat us on the outside against L'Jarius and Trent and Jalen and Joshua Williams, and if your receivers can beat us, so be it. And they took that approach, and it was the wrong approach. And I was very surprised the way a lot of people were that the team that led the league in rushing, yards rushed, rushing attempts, got away from it the way that they did.
Baldy, I know you're going to study this game coming up really strong. If you had to pick a coaching staff, which coaching staff would out-scheme the other one? Which do you think has the best when it comes to offense and defense? Which team would you think, the 49ers or Kansas City?
Well, I don't want to – look, it's hard to argue against Kansas City, right? Because, Spagnuolo might be the best big-game defensive coordinator that we have seen, going and taking the Patriots down, going for perfection, and what he did 4 years ago and what he's done throughout the year. I thought they were 1-2 with Baltimore all year for being the best defenses week in, week out. Mm-hmm. He took 6 rookies last year, integrated them to a Super Bowl champion team. He's got his corners playing as well as they didn't have a penalty last week. Right. Playing man-man. I just think Spags is a master tactician, and I've known Andy since the day he got into this league. Mm-hmm. He's always shown that you want to put T.O. on the roster, he'll design an offense with T.O. on the roster. You have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback and, a Hall of Fame tight end. We'll make sure we get him the ball in as many different ways. I think they tinker and game plan as well as anybody. And that's not to take anything away from Kyle and what they're doing there, Steve Wilkes, but Kansas City has proven that that's a great staff and what they do.
Baldy, if you had to power rank the plays, if you were sort of the one dictating SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the football weekend, would it have been the Ayuk play off the face of the Detroit Lions corner, or would it be the Lamar Jackson pass to himself?
No. I think you got to go to Ayuk and the ladybug catch. I think that's what that play will live iconically in the memory of every 49er fan. They needed a big play at that spot. That basically helped cut the lead to 7 points in a very short period of time. Lamar's catch is amazing, and if he finished that play in the end zone and tied the game up, now we'd be talking about Lamar, but Tranquil caught him from behind and stopped him from doing that. But I would have to say it's Ayuk's catch. That's to be able to secure that catch and to do that in real time, and it almost looked like it was in slow motion the way that happened. I thought that was the play of the weekend.
Are you at a place now when it comes to the postseason and big games and big moments? You'll never pick against Pat Mahomes, whatever team he's on. It's just default. You have to go with him and his team.
Yes. I would never pick against Patrick Mahomes. If Patrick Mahomes was playing pickleball right now, I'd take Mahomes in pickleball. It doesn't seem to matter. I watched him warm up the other day, and he was kicking a football around like it was a soccer ball. And just having fun. And he's shooting threes into an imaginary hoop. And I'm like, yep, he's draining threes. There's nothing I wouldn't pick against him in at this point right now.
I think beer pong might be at the top of that list for me when it comes to Mahomes. I think I've heard stories where he might actually be a better beer pong player than he's a quarterback, Baldy.
Well, I think I'm a good beer pong player too, so I'd love to take him on and see if I could challenge him. Yeah,
just run the tables, Baldy and Pat.
that would be a lot of fun. Who do you?
Yeah. I would do nonstop. I know Pat can talk some junk like he did the other day to Justin Tucker, but I feel like I got a good junk game too. So I'm not holding back at all.
Okay, so what did you think about that back and forth with Pat and Justin Tucker? I mean, I kind of liked what Justin Tucker was doing a little bit, or is there just no, effect because it's the kicker that's doing the trolling here?
Yeah, well, I was kind of watching it was going on. I mean, he's the best kicker in the league, and you can't let a kicker get underneath your skin. I mean, there's kickers I've played with that I wouldn't even give them a locker. I just put them with the brooms and the mops, and that's where you get the change. And so, kickers have been dissed. I mean, this happens to be the best of all time. So, he's got a little bigger platform, but I had no problem. It's all about gamesmanship. It's all about intimidation. All that stuff is on the table when it's Championship Sunday. So I didn't have any problem with it.
I'm curious what the younger Baldy was, what drinking games he was good at. Was young Baldy a quarters player? What?
Yes. Yes, I could bounce the quarter in the cup, like right off my nose.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I hated those tables where the quarter didn't bounce, though. I had to go find, some sort of
you found the spot
where the quarterback could at least get off the ground. Have some kind of vertical jump. But yes, we could drop that quarter in a cup from a long ways away.
Were you a guy that was a stickler for the rules? Was like, were you always kind of yelling at if guys were doing stuff they weren't supposed to do at the table? You always kind of yelling at them about the
rules were for grown-ups. They weren't for kids. I wasn't a big rules guy. I didn't know what stay off of this roof, stay out of this house. That was just like, okay, that's the cookie jar. We're going right to it.
Yeah, you and John Cougar Mellencamp, you fight authority. Authority always wins.
Yes,
one of those guys.
That's it. Yeah, the authority song. That's right.
That's you.
Yeah.
When was the last time Brian Baldinger shotgunned a beer?
Probably not that long ago. My nephews were over at my house in Florida. They're all lifeguards, and so they play a lot of drinking games. So you can't let a bunch of 25-year-olds usurp you. You have to show them that you still got game. Yes. So I probably did one not too long ago.
Okay, that's fantastic. From your playing days, who do you have the most beer drinking respect for from like a teammate?
Gosh, that's good. Steve Giassi back in the day was pretty good.
Oh.
He got so good at it he had to stop it.
Yeah.
Too good.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame level.
Ron Springs was pretty good.
He's got a bust.
Ron Springs could throw some tall boys down.
There we go.
I feel like Yahtzee might have a bust in the beer drinking Hall of Fame somewhere.
Yeah. Well, there's it's not. I mean, Ed Too Tall Jones didn't start talking till there was a case of Miller Lite. That had already been imbibed. So, so there was some legendary performers in that category.
We were talking about heading out, of course, to Radio Row in Vegas next week and hoping to hang out and see you. But what is kind of a day in the life of Baldy in Vegas? Do you have some certain spots you like to go to, or do you get into buffets, the foods?
I don't like buffets. The food's too good there. They've got me on a schedule. It's like it's nonstop. I don't know when I'm going to break away. I know I'll be at Jaws' cigar party on Thursday night, and that's always fun, and it's always good seeing those guys. I don't know yet. I mean, I'm just going to – I've gotten to the Super Bowl. I've gotten to the Super Bowl. I've gotten to Friday, and I had no voice left.
Oh.
I got to you got to pace yourself a little bit here, although you're going to have fun. So I don't know. I'm going to pick my spots here. I can't. I mean, my parents lived in Vegas for 25 years. I know every single hidden bar in that place.
Oh.
I know where all the places are that, you shouldn't be that I've gone to. So, I know where to go. It's just a question of, am I going to find time to get there?
That's fantastic. Brian Baldinger with us here in the GBag Nation, brought to you by Old Spice. It's time for the Old Spice questions of the day. Baldy, are you a lotion guy? Maybe like a post shower lotion up, maybe the face, the arms, the chest, whatever.
I don't understand any of that. I don't own any lotion. I know it's in every hotel room, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. Like, my skin is my skin, and when it's rough, it's rough, and when it's sunburned, it's sunburned, and I've never really put any suntan lotion on, sunblock on. I've never done any of it, to be honest with you.
Natural.
Okay, you mentioned the hotel room, Baldy. Could you use the emergency sewing kit if you had to?
No chance. Not with that finger you got, Baldy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to thread the eye of a needle. I mean, I think I've probably, sewed up a button before on some jacket that popped, like I've probably done that. Like, it's not a specialty, but I know how to put the thread through the needle and sew a button on a jacket. I could definitely, or a shirt. I could definitely do that.
What about an iron? Are you breaking out the iron there in the hotel?
That's what, don't they usually have, concierge
service,
like
yeah.
They do.
like
I'm
that?
just too scared to ask.
But you're making that TV
yeah.
money, Baldy. You know what I'm saying? TV money's a little different to us radio dudes.
I'm not looking at the prices on those things. I should, but I don't.
I'll tell you what, Baldy, we catch you at night when you're doing your stuff on the NFL Network. You got some great outfits, by the way. For a big man, you got somebody dressing you well.
It's all a layaway, Coach. So
yeah.
I'll pay for it my next lifetime.
Okay, is this a serial killer mentality, Baldy, for somebody that makes their own hotel room bed?
No, I've never. I mean, I believe in I'm the son of a Marine, so
yeah.
I grew up making my own bed and still do, but I don't do it in a hotel room. That's why all these wonderful maids that you say good morning to every day when you walk down the hallway, like I'm letting them do their job. I don't want to screw them up, and make a bad bed, because then they're going to have to undo it and then redo it. So I'm not going to make it to the level where, the old thing in the Naval Academy was it was made so well that you could bounce a quarter off it.
Yeah.
And so, we had that thing growing up. And I feel like some of the service that you get in these hotels, that you could do the same thing. So I don't want to interfere with what they do.
Yeah, well, Zach's just taking a shot at me there, Baldy, because I'm the guy that makes up my bed in the hotel.
All right.
Yeah, I just do it to get my day started.
He does do a good job, though, Baldy, I will say.
Yeah.
All right. That's a high recommendation to be able to do that.
Discipline, Baldy. I try a little discipline in my life,
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, like they say, once you finish making the bed in the morning, you've already accomplished more than most of the people have.
There you go, sir. There you go. Tell them, Baldy.
So you got that feather in the cap already.
Baldy, you're the best. We always enjoy getting to chat with you here on these Wednesdays. Next week, we'll do it out in Radio Row, man. Travel safe.
Okay, guys. I'll talk to you next week. Look forward to it.